You know what time it is. So I know it's toxic, but I love it. What the fudge ripple is this story?
Stop being stupid.
It's just words on paper. It's giving pervert.
Not many men know how to self-reflect.
Welcome back to Alexandria Loves Books. Last September and October, I read Twilight and New Moon because, of course, it's the fall cozy vibes. I didn't end up posting that video until the spring because I thought I'd read the whole series. That didn't happen though. So we're gonna make this a series of videos of me reading the Twilight saga. And now that it's a year later, we're back in September, October, spooky season time. It's time to get back into the series. So today I'm going to start Eclipse, and hopefully this week I'll also be able to read Breaking Dawn. I know these are thick books, but I think I can get through them quickly because I've never read the books before. Actually, I read Eclipse and Breaking Dawn. I've read these books before. So these are technically rereads. Oh my gosh, I can count this as a reread on my reading goals, my reading bucket list, my reading journal. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. This counts as a reread. I read these in middle school. I didn't read the whole book series though when I was younger. I only read Eclipse and Breaking Dawn because those were my favorite movies. I watched all the movies before reading the books, and Eclipse and Breaking Dawn, part 1 specifically, but also part 2, are my favorite. I'm hoping that that means I'll get through these quickly because I am obsessed with these storylines. And now we're done with the Team Jacob book. I'm Team Edward all the way. Represent. I'm happy to be back in Team Edward books. Also, this is a spoiler reading vlog. I don't do spoiler reading vlogs often, but for Twilight, it seems fitting. There's really not much I'm gonna be able to say without giving spoilers, and also it's Twilight. If you haven't watched and or read Twilight by now, what are you doing? I'm on page 172 of Eclipse, and here are my thoughts. Edward is coming off so controlling with forcing Alice to basically like kidnap Bella for these sleepovers so that she can't go see Jacob while he's out hunting. And in the movies, to me it comes off more like protective. Like, you know, I know that he's worried about her safety with the werewolves, but in the book, it's all of that, but also really controlling, not trusting her or like actually communicating and having a healthy conversation about it with her. Just immediately thinking she can't take care of herself, that like he knows better than her, and for her own good that he needs to go basically behind her back and just be really controlling. And I don't like that. But also I think because I read this, watched these movies when I didn't like read all the books when I was young, but I watched all the movies when I was young, those pre-teen years, I melted for it. And so I know it's toxic, but I love it. And Rosalie is talking to her about, you know, her story of how and why she became a vampire, and when talking about Edward being controlling and everything, and she said, he loves you more than you know. It terrifies him to be away from you. And I read that, and all of my frustration at him being controlling just like went away, which is not healthy in real life. But in this, it just like makes it all better. But I don't like how controlling he is. Also, like I already knew Rosalie's story. Hearing it from like her sharing it in this way just like hurt my heart, and I feel for her so much. But I love when she was talking about Emmett. Emmett is everything I would have asked for if I'd known myself well enough to know what to ask for. He's exactly the kind of person someone like me needs, and oddly enough, he needs me too. I love them. What was my other thought? There was 3 things. It's interesting that to me in the movies, Bella seems so much like a young, immature teenager in the first 2 movies, in Twilight and New Moon, but then to me in Eclipse, that's when she like feels more mature. And then in the books, like in Eclipse now, I'm like, you're still reading to me like an immature teenager who doesn't really know what she's doing. And like, not that she needs to know what she's doing, but just she's coming off a little like a whiny teenager at times. I finally remembered what that 3rd thing I wanted to tell you about was. I get that Jacob is like family to her and that she cares about him, and especially since he's going through this like hard time mentally, she wants to be there for him. He was there for her. But I don't think she's like necessarily leading him on, but she's kind of leading him on. Like she's like, oh, I like removed his hand from my face, but I interwove our fingers to not hurt his feelings.
You are holding hands with this man. That is not your boyfriend. You have a boyfriend. I don't like that, but it just goes to show that she's coming off as more of like an immature teenager still in this book compared to how I view her in the movies. Yeah, I don't want to say she's leading him on, but she's like kind of leading him on a little bit. Just like small things. And I'm like, you need to like really show that like it's platonic. You consider him a brother because you don't really always act like he is a brother, but you say he's like family. So do you actually like him? Which I'm pretty sure she does love him. I don't know. He reached out and took my hand. This is Jacob. I thought of how we must look walking hand in hand down the beach. Like a couple, certainly, and wondered if I should object. But this was the way it had always been with Jacob. ... No reason to get worked up about it now. Girl, stop it. Stop being stupid. Quill imprinted on a 2-year-old? I thought Jacob, at the end, imprinting on Renesmee was the only time a werewolf imprinted on a baby. This is common? And then they don't age until they like quit being werewolves? So Quill and Jacob are just gonna remain, 16, 17 for a few decades until the baby they imprinted on, each, they're separate 2-year-olds or babies, whatever, grow up to be like 16? This is creepy. That's so weird. So what? He's her like a brother until she's old enough to be a lover? That's weird. Edward is apologizing for being controlling and taking accountability and saying that was wrong of me. I messed up. I won't do that again. I realized I had my own things, my own prejudices against werewolves. So he had a controlling moment, but look at that growth. He apologized and he meant it. He reflected. Not many men know how to self-reflect. So this is why we are Team Edward. We're not Team Jacob. That's not very attractive, Bella. Forgiveness is divine. What kind of dad says that?
I'm going to politely ask that you do not question my appearance right now. I have a hair serum in, so my hair is like this. I'm wearing the same sweatshirt as I did yesterday because it's day 1 of my period and I put comfort over cleanliness right now. But all of this that's going on right now made me have a question. And I feel like I probably asked a friend about this before, but I don't remember their answer. He's a vampire. Even though he's a vegetarian and only goes after animals and not humans, he still likes blood. She's a human girl. And what, she's his singer or whatever? Her blood specifically like sings to him? He wants her blood. What does he do every month when she's on her period? Like, does that blood, is that an exception? Like, he's like not affected by that? Or is she on her period and he's like, I'm hungry. Ew, I hated that. I hated that so much. But it's a genuine question, even though this is all fiction and fantasy and stupid and silly and fun. I have these questions, okay? And who's gonna answer them? Page 329. This is exactly why I am not Team Jacob, and Jacob actually pisses me off. She just told him that he's family, that she loves him too, but she's not in love with him. He just admitted that he's in love with her. And then, of course, he's stroking the tips of his fingers across my right cheek. Do you think you could behave yourself a little better, at least? No, I don't. You decide, Bella. You can have me the way I am, bad behavior included, or not at all. It's just so disrespectful. He doesn't respect boundaries. He doesn't care that she's in a relationship, that she's in love with Edward. Like, I get wanting to, like, be like, hey, I know it's awkward, but I want to have my feelings out there. I don't want miscommunication to get in the way. And like, I want you to know that I'm in love with you. Okay, you're not in love with me? Okay, at least I got to tell you. And then respect boundaries if you want to stay in each other's lives. Like, he's so immature. Which, yeah, he's 16. He's a 16-year-old boy that just can't take no for an answer. Like, no means no, dude. It pisses me off so much. And this is why I'm not Team Jacob. And if you're Team Jacob, you're wrong. And you deserve someone that will respect your boundaries. I get that he's hot. But hotness does not equal a good partner or a good person. I recently decided that I'm not giving up. There really is something irresistible about a lost cause. So he's in it for the chase. He doesn't give a crap about her as a person. One last thing, and then I will stop talking about this in particular. I just read where he forces a kiss on her. And I obviously knew that happened because I've seen the movies. And it's always pissed me off because how dare you kiss her against her will? And that is so pushing boundaries. And then I'm reading this and of course I'm getting pissed off again. And I'm like, that's That's assault. You're kissing her, you're against her will, and you're smiling about it. If I was Bella, I get like you love him as a family, but he did this. You should not keep him in your life. I truly hate Jacob for this. The only real options, Team Edward, Team Charlie, and Team Carlisle. Okay? Those are the only teams I will accept. And then to say, oh, come on, that had to be better than kissing a rock. You're just mad. I don't have any experience with this kind of thing, but I thought it was pretty incredible myself. You're going to think about it tonight. When he thinks you're asleep, you'll be thinking about your... I think I actually hate Jacob. And now I truly don't think if he's can be redeemed in my mind. Edward always thinks he's so selfish. No, Jacob is the selfish one. He doesn't care about Bella. He cares about getting what he doesn't have. This is why I'm Team Edward. In the movie, he's like very pissed off, which I think he is here too, but he's handling it a lot more maturely. If you ever kiss her again, I will break your jaw for her. What if she wants me to? If that's what she wants, then I won't object. All he cares is about Bella being happy and Bella having who and what she wants. One more thing. I'll be fighting for her too. You should know that. I'm not taking anything for granted, and I'll be fighting twice as hard as you will. Good. It's no fun beating someone who forfeits. She is mine. I didn't say I would fight fair. Yes, may the best man win. That sounds about right, pup. I literally was crying because I was so upset about the kiss and the disrespecting boundaries. And Edward made it all better, as he always does. I decided to read one more chapter before going to bed. And of course, this is my favorite chapter. It's my favorite scene, as long as it plays out the same way as the movie does. When she stays over at his house, like the night before the fight, and he proposes. The speech of the movie makes me cry or tear up every time. She's cuddling into his side, and she says, well, internally, she thinks, it probably felt similar to snuggling with Michelangelo's David, except that this perfect marble creature wrapped his arms around me to pull me closer. That sounds so uncomfortable. Like, I'm a physical touch girly. When I want that, I crave like a warm, soft hug, cuddle, not a cold marble statue. That's just me though. And you know, we all have our preferences, and I support her. But just like, how do you like cuddle like a marble statue? Like, it just is cold and hard, and I don't know. This is really hard to admit, but my favorite scene, the proposal scene, is better in the movie. In the book, it really seems like getting married is like the last thing she wants to do. I know in the movie, there's definitely still some hesitation with her, but he has this beautiful romantic monologue, and she says yes, and he's so happy, and she seems happy too, even though she's still like nervous and hesitant about it. But in this, it really, her internal dialogue and the things that she says is just like, every time she says the word married, marriage, matrimony, all those words, she can't help but cringe. She seems so against it, and like truly the only reason that she is agreeing is just so that they can have sex and that he can be the one to turn her into a vampire. And I just don't like that. It was just a lot more romantic to me in the movie. Jacob is carrying her up the mountain to meet Edward at their camping spot to prepare for this battle with the newborns. And of course, Jacob's like, have you thought about the kiss? Have you thought about me? And of course, he's like, does that mean he's a better kisser than I am? I really couldn't say, Jake. Edward is the only person I've ever kissed, besides me. But I don't count that as a kiss, Jacob. I think of it more as an assault. Thank you, Bella. It is. That is assault. And he just goes, ouch, that's cold. I know they're idiotic teenagers. They're minors. Well, no, she's 18. She's 18. She's an adult. She's an adult. Forgive me. But they're taking this so lightly. Jacob assaulted her. And I'm glad that she's acknowledging that that's what it was. And he's calling her irresponsible. I hate this man. This boy. I hate this boy. Bella is currently asleep in the tent, and Edward and Jacob are having like their talk. And of course I underlined Edward going 100 years of waiting for her. But then I like realized I've always had this one thought. He's like 107 or 117 years old. No, he was born in 1908. I don't know. I know he's over 100 and she's, 18. And listen, I know that most people don't make it to the age of like 107, 108, 117, whatever, however old he is, people usually die before then. But like, you know, see those posts on like Instagram, like celebrating, you know, people's like their 110th birthday, and it's like, holy crap, like that's amazing. Imagining someone like that, the pictures, like the people you see in those pictures, you know, really old. Just a fact, not a rude comment, just really old, with a 17-year-old girl. It's giving pervert. I've always thought that. I wish Edward was older because I know he's 17 forever. Mentally and physically, he's 17. But it is still creepy. He could technically be alive at that point if he was still human and just really healthy, and then dating a 17-year-old girl, and that's creepy. If he was older, like a 200-year-old vampire, it'd be like, well, there would be no chance of them ever being together in real life. Oh my god, exhibit Q, why I am not Team Jacob. Right before the battle in the movie, okay? And you know, he's all like, you're gonna marry him, you know, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna get myself killed, basically. And she's like, no, okay, fine, kiss me, I'm asking you to kiss me, so that he wouldn't act stupidly down there. I hate that scene in the movie, I hate it so much. Now I'm here in the book and it just even feels worse. Jacob, there's a pretty serious fight brewing down there. I don't think it would be that difficult to take myself out of the picture. What's the difference, Bella? This will only make it more convenient for everyone. You won't even have to move. And then making her beg him. It's so manipulative and it's so classic 16-year-old boy. I know this is a very sensitive subject, so I'm not gonna like go into full detail, but I remember on my 16th birthday, I was dating this guy and I was in a little bit of a fight with him because I didn't want to be with him anymore, and he threatened to off himself if I broke up with him. And I know of so many other girls that went through similar things, because of course then I was talking with friends about it, and then hearing other people's stories, and also just seeing people's stories online, that so many girls and women have had men, boys, threatening to hurt themselves as a way to manipulate the girl they like, a girl they love. I don't think they actually care for them, to be honest. Because if they did, they wouldn't be manipulating them like this. It pisses me off. Like, Jacob is such a cuss word. He really is. I hate this. I hate this so much. Again, you are forcing her to be in a situation where she feels like the only thing she can do to get you to not hurt yourself is to ask you to kiss her. Don't you want to be with someone who actually wants you to kiss her? And he's forcing her to cheat. And Edward's response of understanding that, one, Jacob played her and tricked her, and two, understanding that she does love him. Three, not even blaming her because he's he's relatively mature and can view it from all facets and realizes that the situation, like, of course they fell in love, like Jacob and Bella, because of what like they bonded through. And then he says, I can be noble, Bella. I'm not going to make you choose between us. Just be happy and you can have whatever part of me you want, or not at all if that's better. Edward truly loves her. Jacob, I'm not saying he doesn't love her, but he just thinks that he loves her. His actions don't show his love. His words don't show his love. Bella is visiting Jacob after he had his injuries from the battle, and they're actually addressing the truth. Literally what I told you guys. Jacob is saying that Edward is a better manipulator than he is Bella. He isn't manipulating me. Yes, he is. When are you going to wake up and realize not as perfect as you think he is? Bella, at least he didn't threaten to kill himself to make me kiss him. And he even admits it. It's true, though. I did do that. I don't care, Jake. I'm not mad. I don't care either. I knew you'd forgive me, and I'm glad I did it. I'd do it again. At least I have that much. I hate him. You're even aware that you're being a master manipulator, an awful person, and you don't even regret it. That is not love. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about this. Also, what I realized is that later in Breaking Dawn, when he then imprints on Renesmee, when she's older enough for him to be her lover, he can be like, yeah, I'm in love with your mom, or I was in love with your mom. I don't ship Jacob and Renesmee. I was in love with your mom. I was jealous of your dad. But Renesmee, I love you. You're my girl. Ugh! I didn't know that Edward was the one that invited Jacob to the wedding. Edward loves her so much, and honestly, she's right. She does not deserve him. I wasn't expecting this book to go so not in depth, but like so in depth on her love romantically for Jacob and how much it upset her to not choose him. She's like heartbroken, sobbing all night, hysterical, the fact that she's losing him, to the point that Edward was like, do you want him? I know that she loves Edward, but I need to see it more. She barely like wants the wedding. Now she's like kind of on board, but like she doesn't even fully want, like, I know she wants him and to be a vampire and wants him for eternity and can't live without him. She keeps saying that, but I need to see and feel the love for him from her, because after so much about her love for Jacob, I feel cheated on by Bella. So wow, I think I'm gonna rate this a 4.25 stars. I rated Twilight 4 stars, and I like this one more, but also I did not like how much she loves both Edward and Jacob. I'll be honest, I don't like that. I don't really like love triangles really at all in general, but if I'm gonna read about it, I need it to be obvious that one choice is the right choice, and I hate Jacob. I've already established that, and so I don't like seeing her love for him. If he was a better person, I'd understand it more, but no. But overall, I did enjoy it. Now it is time to watch the movie. I haven't watched it in like a year, so I'm very excited. Yes. Volume up. I know he's in love with Bella, but like he really wants me. I know. Edward, we can stop the farce. We can tell them now. Boo, Jacob. I will admit he's hot, but he's still a jerk. Edward's sideburns are so juicy in Eclipse.
I can give you more than him.
No, you can't.
I mean, he probably can't even kiss you without hurting you.
He actually cares about her happiness. No, Jacob, no. Punch him. Come on, Edward, fight him. I honestly did not like Charlie in the book. He was not for his daughter, and he was just for Jacob. But love movie Charlie. Honestly, I might be Team Emmett, too. I love him. And he's quite a handsome man. Jasper and Alice are the cutest. They're so cute! Her wig is a lot worse than I remember it being in this film.
Oh my god, Dad.
I'm a virgin. My god, I love this man. It's an ugly ring. He's so happy. And that was Eclipse. I really liked reading the book because I understood the characters so much more than I do just from the film. And I understood why things were happening, and then watching the film after reading it, I caught so many little things and understood them more, and I painted my nails. Ultimate girlhood, painting my nails and watching Eclipse. Team Edward. I don't want to be reading in Jacob's POV for 200 pages. That's the last thing I want to do. Reading about Quill interacting with Claire, the child, the infant, the baby he imprinted on. And I know it's not romantic yet, but interacting with her like a parent / like babysitter on the beach right now, knowing that they're meant to be together while he's like literally holding her as a child, and I hate it. I hate it so much. It's making me so icked out and uncomfortable. Good morning, reader besties. I am determined to sit here and not get up unless I have to pee, or maybe if I need a drink or feeling a little snacky. I'm not gonna get up unless I have to until I finish Jacob's book. I want to get out of his mind. I don't want to be in his mind. I want to be back in Bella's at book 3. So let's lock in. Talking about Seth, Edward says, he is one of the purest, sincerest, kindest minds I've ever heard. I think Seth is my favorite werewolf. He's just so wholesome. Oh, I think she's in labor. The gravity of the earth no longer tied me to the place where I stood. It was the baby girl in the blonde vampire's arms that held me here now. Renesmee. Obviously I knew that he imprints on freaking rigatoni, but it's just, you imprinted on a baby. And I know it's not romantic or sexual until she's an adult. Oh, but it's weird and gross. I made it to book 3. Time for a break. Let me catch you up to speed. I finished Jacob's book. I did some Pilates. I showered. I treated my acne. It's a daily constant battle. I'm back in my reading corner and I'm so happy that it's finally chilly and like cool enough that I can wear sweatshirts and sweatpants and fuzzy socks. Yes, they're Christmas, even though it is October. I'm so happy I can wear this and be comfortable and not be so hot. It is finally fall weather and I'm so happy. And now I am ready to lock in for another few hours, maybe get to page 500. That's the goal. I got some snackies here. I got my fall ambiance, and Bella has just become a vampire. So let's essentially start reading Breaking Dawn Part 2. I hate that she wanted to name her baby, if it was a boy, EJ, for Edward Jacob. I get that you love Jacob, but he's not just family. He's someone that you were/are in love with, who is not your husband. Why would you name your child basically after an ex in a way? I hate it. I hate it so much. I've always hated it. And I'll never not hate that. And for that reason, Stephenie Meyer, you've done me wrong in so many ways with the whole imprinting on a child's BS. The one place you went right was making the baby a girl so that I didn't have to have an Edward Jacob in this story. Well, one, she could have just not had Bella do that because she chose to write all of this, but you know, beggars can't be choosers here. I'm thankful for the good things that I've got. Renesmee. Regurgitation. Rigatoni. Renaissance. She's seeing Jacob for the first time since she's become a vampire. She doesn't know about the imprinting yet, but I'm excited to see her bring out her mama bear, you know? Internally, she says, I noticed that the strange need I'd felt for him before I'd changed was completely gone. He was just my friend, the way it was supposed to be. So now she doesn't have any like romantic love for him. Was the reason that she felt pulled to him, drawn to him, the reason that she like fell in love with him, was that just Renesmee? Like, was that pull when she was pregnant just because of Renesmee, and when she wasn't pregnant, was that because of like the egg that Renesmee came from? Jacob was drawn to Bella, but really just drawn to that egg that became Renesmee. This is weird. This is weird, and you have to admit that. Alice has just come with the keys to the house that they like got for, or made, or put together, I don't know, for Bella and Edward as like a surprise for her 19th birthday. So Alice is like, it's September 13th, Bella, happy 19th birthday. And then my mind was like, oh my God, she's 19, she's married, and she has a baby, and she's a vampire. What a life. And then the next page, I shook my head fiercely and then shot a glance at the smug smile on my 17-year-old husband's face. I know why that sentence is that way, just like it's so silly, like they're frozen at 18 and 17. But hearing that sentence, I hated that. I hated that. The smug look on my 17-year-old husband's face, while my best friend, who's 16, is in love with my newborn child. What the fudge ripple is this story? But why do I love it so much though? Like I do, like even though it's messed up, I love it. Well, not these aspects, but just overall, I love this story.
It's an extraordinary thing to meet someone who you can bare your soul to, and will accept you for what you are. No measure of time with you will be long enough. Let's start with forever.
When he looks at me, and I look at him, and he looks at me, and I look at him.
I forgot Jacob is still in high school. That just makes this really weird situation even weirder.
I'm taking a little bit of a break. I'm almost done, clearly, but I'm taking a little lunch break and I wanted to show you my Sims real quick. I'm currently playing the 100 Baby Challenge, and without really meaning to, I just kind of end up using Twilight names for my Sims characters. So I wanted to show you my family. So me, I'm the mom, and so my name is Arabella, which I did that because it's similar to Alexandria, but not. But now I'm realizing Bella, Isabella, Bella, Arabella, oh my gosh, it meant to be. My husband's name is Edward, of course, and then our kids, Esme, Alice, Charlie, Isabella, so there is an Isabella, Rosalie, Emmett, Jasper, and Carlisle. I'm gonna have to get creative the more kids I have on this, in this challenge, but I'm gonna try to use only Twilight names for my 100 Baby Challenge. I already know how this ends because I've seen the movie and I apparently read this a decade ago, even though I don't remember. But they're all saying goodbye and their I love yous, thinking that they're all about to die. And that they're never gonna see their daughter again. And we're gonna say goodbye to Jacob. Goodbye, Jacob, my brother, ... my son. What the fudge ripple? Like all bullies, they're cowards under the swagger. I hate that. I hate that line. Oh, she's calling her Nessie now too? Bella, I hate Nessie. I hate the nickname so much. I don't like the name Renesmee, but I like it more than Nessie. I hate the Nessie nickname, and I love that Bella stood strong on never giving in, and here she is. Nessie, Nessie, Nessie. I get to stay with you forever. I lifted my head and kissed him with a passion that might possibly set the forest on fire. I wouldn't have noticed. I had heard that there wasn't actually a fight scene at the end with the Volturi, and that they just added it in the movie just to make it a little more interesting and give, you know, the audience a fight scene. But reading it without the fight scene, I'm like, this is weird. Like, it's just, they talk it out, which is good, as it should be. But it's so crazy to read it without the fight. Now you know. No one's ever loved anyone as much as I love you. I finished Breaking Dawn and I'm still crying. I'm not fully sure what I'm gonna rate it. I was leaning towards a 4.25, the same as Eclipse, but with how much emotion I'm feeling right now, I'm like, is it a 4.5? Maybe. I feel this like bittersweet feeling that like it's over. I have Midnight Sun still, but that is just like Twilight in Edward's POV. Like, this story is over, even though like I've watched the movies a bajillion times. I know the story, like it's done. I just still feel so like emotional because I love Bella and Edward, and the series is so cringy at times, and it's silly, and it's a little stupid, and it's weird. Like, why are we imprinting on children even though it's not romantic until they're of age? But still, it's just weird. But I love it so much. This story was introduced in my life at such a formative time, as it was for most of us, being like children, young preteen, teenagers. To me, like, ultimate love is Edward and Bella, and it always has been and always will be. And so like reading about the very end of the just being like, they love each other so much and they have forever, but yet I won't get to read forever and ever and ever. I want to read their life forever and forever and forever until the day I die, okay? I want to watch the movies of them forever and forever and forever until I die. I was so excited because so many people had theories that back in September, when there was like the 20-year anniversary event, they thought that Stephenie Meyer was going to announce a new book, and she didn't. And I'm really bummed that it's not true because I want another book. Why am I crying? Like, it's not just like tears. I am like this close to like sobbing level. Oh my gosh, let me get myself together. This is so stupid. watching this video. I know it probably was really long because I felt so chatty while filming this, but I appreciate you for being here. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you didn't enjoy it, please like it anyway. But if you didn't enjoy it, I doubt you'd be at this point in the video. So if you're still watching, I love you so much. You're the real ones. You mean the world to me. I shall see you in my next video. Bye!
Sunset whispers in the breeze.